Welcome back, everybody, to Fireside Casts. I'm Eki in the booth with Wild Rumpus, featured by my fan that I forgot to turn off with underscore on production. This is Newbie Cup 10 Grand Finals between Witness Gaming Jr. And Yellow Babbers on Bagel, then Process, then Sunshine. And I'm not just excited for this one. I am pumped. I'm hyped for this one even.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. We get to see which of these teams is going to take home that first place from this Newbie Cup. I almost said this years, but I'm pretty sure there's more than one Newbie Cup a year at this point. Yeah, and Bagel first as well. It's usually been like a process first, occasionally a sunshine first, but it's looking like Witness Gaming Jr. really like their odds of winning this map in particular, which is understandable as well, because as you were mentioning, against the teams that we were just covering, Donk Daddies actually during the group stages had a win over Yellow Babbers on Bagel, so maybe a bit of a weaker map for them, and yeah, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, we will kind of just have to see how it plays out. But both of these teams have been covered, and we've seen them both play. I'm pretty sure Yellow Babbers in the group stages went 3-1 for wins, losses, and then Witness Gaming Jr. was the only team to go undefeated, though I think they dropped a handful of rounds. Not too sure what their group stage record for rounds was, but their wins speaks for themselves. They went 4-0, completely decimated their competition no matter who they played. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup. The maps for tonight, if I can find it, here it is Witness, for the first time ever for a game that we've covered, the higher seed team chooses to be A. Didn't think we'd have to get to the grand finals for that, but here we are. Witness will be picking Bagel, which is our first map. Then Yellow Babbers picks Process, and Sunshine by pick of Witness will be the deciding game of this series to determine who goes home with gold and who goes home with silver.
Yeah, Bagel definitely a very action-packed map. There's kind of always something happening all the time. It can be a little hard to pick apart, but really does, just like any Conth map, come down to the action on point. And in Bagel specifically, usually the action on point is assisted by the action in either house. So house control and what your combo is doing across the point, usually kind of that deciding factor. What I actually really appreciate about Bagel, and I think more Conth maps should do this, in fact, is the point caps very quickly, which I think has the nice benefit of, compared to a map like, for example, Clear Cut, where you need to really, really win a fight to convert the point in your favor. In some cases, get like multiple kills, force the other team out entirely. On a map like Bagel, you can convert the point with really small, really temporary advantages. Sometimes something as simple as, the other demo eats a pipe and a sticky and they're forced to back up and reheal, is usually enough to convert the point. So I really like how the fast capping point of Bagel definitely encourages those really tight margins to be played, and definitely rewards skilled play.
Oh yeah, 100%. Bagel, like you said, there's always something happening. There's always something going on at some point or another, and there's always something there's always a fight, really. There's always just a fight happening at any given moment, regardless of if it's a 1v1 or a 1v2 or a 2v2 or something along those lines. There's something going on at every possible moment during a game of Bagel. And I think that's what really sets it apart from other Conth maps. You have Product and Clear Cut, where, yeah, there's a lot of action, but you have a lot of downtime as well. Whereas with Bagel, the only downtime you're really getting is if you wipe the team and they have to respawn and try and break out of a forward hold or something, right? Mm-hmm. Or, it's the downtime between the rounds resetting. Those are really the only moments of downtime that you get. And I think with that extra added layer of chaos, with that extra added layer of complexity to the map, it's a very big trip up for newer players. But both of these teams, evidenced by the fact that they're in the grand final right now, and of course by their performances on Bagel in previous matches, they have kind of conquered that chaos. They've shown that, they're not going to let the different mode of the they're not going to let a different mode of the game and a different way of playing throw a wrench in their machine. They're not going to let anything get in their way. They're going to try and play to win 100% of the time. And I think that's going to make for a very, very interesting grand final.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of these teams, I know that both of these teams have seen coverage here on Fireside from both of us, actually, but we may as well reintroduce them. It is grand finals after all. We are just waiting for them to ready up. Yeah, I suppose I can take Yellow Babbers here. We've got Kitchen Sink and Snower, the soldier duo. Lazy Guy, gonna be the demo. Pizza Hat, not to be confused with Pizza Hut, and Joe Real are going to be the scouts, and we've got Flaming rounding things off on Medic.
All right, sounds like a interesting and a strong combo of players to be playing in this grand final. And for Witness Gaming Jr., coached by the one and only Witness himself, we have Grapes and The Man as your scouts for the night. Meggies and Professor Carr will be your soldiers. Mr. Person is going to be your demo. And I believe Juice will be your medic. Not to be confused with Grape Juice the Third. This is standalone fellow. Juice. Maybe if you combine Grapes and Juice, they'll like fuse together and get like a fraction of Grape Juice's power. It's possible.
Yep. Right. What else is there? About Bagel specifically, because this is the things you have to really worry about in Koth are like spawn times and denying the point and how quickly it caps, and also the forward hold. Bagel is notoriously fast for capping, notoriously short spawn times as well, so there's just action very often, and sacking as well is not as costly because you spawn faster, but it also has one of the more brutal forward holds. And I don't know if newer teams are going to be particularly well versed at that. It's more of a high level, strategy to really get the most out of a forward hold. And sometimes going for a forward hold when you don't have all the pieces in place can be a downside. But we'll have to see if any of these teams are able to pull off a forward hold, because that is a recipe to just win a lot of time for free.
Yeah. And like you said, with this the aggressive forward hold, there's a newer version of Bagel, I think, that's being played in RGL this season with a bigger doorway on concrete. That makes the forward hold a little less powerful, and we're actually not using that version of the map tonight. This is the older version. I think it's just RC10, so it doesn't have the fancy moving point or anything either, but the forward hold is going to be just as dominant as ever, the same dominant forward hold you've all known and loved for as long as you've played Bagel. There is a lot of there's a lot of time that can be gained by using this forward hold properly, and we've seen teams gain almost 2 minutes worth of times for just holding properly. Having your soldiers on concrete, making sure they can spam the door, making sure your demo isn't too overextended towards lower as well, while they have the traps, can still watch them, but aren't necessarily feeding their way in to watch them. Making sure you have that forward hold on deck is crucial to being able to really just dominate on Bagel.
True. Yeah, and teams being able to control houses is a big thing as well. Whether it be your flank shoving, for example, a right house, trying to secure a kill there, or your soldier playing left house, maybe getting shoved, trying to stay alive, because it's very difficult to control houses permanently, right? Usually a team can coordinate some flanking resources to overwhelm that part of the map. It's more so about letting your team know that that's what's happening, making sure everyone can play around it and not giving them the more long-term advantage of a kill, as we are actually readying up here, so we're going to get into some action quite shortly.
Yeah, we are going live to the first map in the series. Again, Bagel, then Process, then Sunshine as the decider. This is Witness's map pick as we move forward, and uncharacteristically, Witness is actually on red this time around. So very early on, good damage from both.
Just dying to spam.
Yeah, just a lot of spam. Good damage from both of the demo and the soldier there, finding the kill. They're going to find Joe Real very early on as well. Scout going to be able to thread the needle. It's going to be the man walking forward onto concrete. Misses a few shots, but it doesn't matter. Going to be able to find Flaming nonetheless as Kitchen Sink salvages, picks up the kill onto the Scout. Pizza Hat tries to go in, but is denied. Snower!
Wow. Wait, Kitchen Sink is in as well, but this med has gotten a pack, so yeah, it will not turn into the med kill that Blue really would like to have right about now. So it will end up being Uber advantage for Juice here. And we are seeing an attempted forward hold. No sticky traps up on the valley side of things quite yet. So that's definitely the door to go. Mr. Person, though, is there now. Snower just straight up through. Looks like a four-man plan. Does get the force. Okay. That's one way to deal with the forward.
Hey, if it works, it works, you know? Pizza is kind of caught. Does get spot. Does get spotted.
Would be rough.
Yeah, this is not looking great for Pizza Hat here. They already had 3 players on different spawn waves during that first fight. Somehow Pizza Hat manages to live, fakes out the man by going towards lower, does get spotted up by concrete again. So I wouldn't be surprised if, yep, Maggie's going for the bomb behind. Doesn't manage to pick up Pizza Hat though, and they manage to live. The Uber comes out from the side of Yellow Babbers. They're walking forward over the point, looking for any possible kills. Looks like Snower, or maybe this is Maggie's here, very low. Both.
I'm surprised that didn't get a kill, because every single, like all 6 players were leaving the exact same door. Just any projectile, a demo or a soldier, getting splash damage there is going to collect like 2-3 kills. But in any case, it is a forward hold now for the blue team. Keep in mind it is Uber disadvantage, so Flaming has to be a little careful about where they stand, make sure they're not caught to an Uber. But if the other team has to force Uber to get through the forward hold and you lose a bunch of combat, that's basically just a successful 4-man or sack wave.
Yeah. And we saw the successful sack wave, or 4-man, I suppose, from Yellow Babbers earlier. But holding that thought, Mr. Person is going to get spammed down. Joe Real and Kitchen Sink going to find it. That's going to be the Uber coming out from the side of Witness Gaming Jr. Good coordinated spam, good coordinated damage from Yellow Babbers. They're working themselves up this full Uber ad now, especially with Maggie's and the man being dead. They're looking to maintain control over this point and keep that time ticking very, very close. They don't want this to be a blowout, and they're not going to let it be a blowout. They're ready to maintain control over the point here and are commanding presence with this Uber advantage.
Yeah, looks like the left side getting shoved here. Lazy Guy in some danger. Yeah, that backdoor position for the demo, it's nice because you get to really spot everything, but you are quite isolated from your heals at the same time, so the door you're supposed to be holding is a little easier to pressure in some respects, but nonetheless, will be Babbers getting the first pick with the man, and then the house shove, Snower able to clean up the demo man. Keep in mind as well, Juice only at 80%, so it is still ad for Yellow Babbers, meaning, oh man, make that full ad now.
Yeah.
Snower plus Pizza Hat are able to find the kill onto the medic.
Yeah, that is a unfortunate set of circumstances for Witness Gaming Jr. to find themselves in. They've actually, on the side of Yellow Babbers, have managed to get themselves under the 60-second mark. Big bomb coming in from the soldiers on Witness Gaming Jr. to get the force out. They're going to be successful in doing so. They try to walk forward and find some picks, but they're not going to be able to find anyone, and that is going to be a successful sack attempt. And I don't even think it was a sack. I'm pretty sure the soldier lived for it. So pretty much just a good force all around. And Witness Gaming Jr. will be pushing forward to catch the point. Pizza Hat pitching from behind, looking to take down Maggie's, is successful. Silky dies, though, as well. This is kind of rough for Witness Jr.
Snower's been finding crazy opportunities through right. And, I mean, again, that house control is a big deal, because not only is it a strong position from which you can help out and fight the point, it is also a very easy route to get behind and make all sorts of flank plays happen, which Snower's definitely showing with that nicely timed shove, able to secure a kill on the other team's med, and preserve even more advantage for Flaming.
Yeah. Snower goes down early here. A lot of stickies on the point, though, need to be cleared before anyone can really walk forward. Meggies goes in, dies. Another bomb comes in for Professor Carr, gets the drop on the Flaming. This could be what Witness Gaming Jr. needs to get themselves back on the right foot, and they do manage to flip the cap over. They wipe the team. They wipe Yellow Babbers. Witness Gaming Jr. on that point, but they have to make sure they hold on to it as well as they possibly can, because right now, with the way things are going, one good fight from Yellow Babbers could end this round and give them a win.
They have overtime, which is really, really nice to have. Honestly, if that Uber got popped at all and wasn't a drop, then the round's probably already over. Now it's a little more up in the air. They are 4-manning. Juice actually pretty
low. It's successful! Kitchen Sink comes in from the top row!
Yeah, I did not expect that 4-man to get... There's like a 3-man as well. Lazy Guy died basically instantly. I didn't expect that to turn into anything, but yeah, now Yellow Babbers. I was going to say it was going to be kind of close. They have to actually play a trade and fight for the point from there, but no, now they just have the win button. So we'll see them press the win button and probably win. It would need a miracle for Witness Gaming Jr. to win this round.
While it may be a miracle, you know, we've seen our fair share of them during this cup. 3 players down. Well, all players are very, very low.
Yeah.
And the cap only got to 3 seconds. But unfortunately for Witness Gaming, 3 seconds is not 0. And Yellow Babbers is actually going to be coming in, taking home the first round of the series on Bagel.
Absolutely. Yeah, and they showed... It was maybe a little shaky early on, especially with the start of that mid. I mean, Lazy Guy just insta-dying to the spam, but they definitely tightened things up throughout the round, and were able to find like a lot of med kills as well. Ooh, double bomb actually on this mid. Pizza Hat dying as well. Might get traded out with Meggies on points. Yep, does in fact. It's so much space for the red team. Point is now capable, but Snower finds a timing behind, and yep, just like beautiful. That. I mean, all about the houses. At this point, just keep flaming alive. It's ad. You have the point. Professor Carr is in. Oh, man. Yeah. Flaming caught a little bit unawares there. Just kind of looking around on the point as Carr went for the play and was able to neutralize Ubers, at least to some extent.
Yeah, and with Silky spawning pretty close to Flaming dying, this is going to give them a good chunk of Uber ad to play around with. Now, it's not crazy. It's not massive, but it's a good chunk of Uber ad. It's about 30%, could be a little bit less if Flaming is able to build properly, or just get that passive building by healing so much damage. Professor Carr goes down to Snower in the left house. Could get chased down and will by the man. Meggies tries to
this is now
make
looking
something
pretty
happen.
Bad for actually, okay, Kitchen Sink dies, making a play on the med. But I really like how Babbers were just fighting the point for so long. Because yes, it is disad, but the other team doesn't have Uber yet. And look at this, they're able to even get a kill as well. So the fact that Juice has Uber advantage here doesn't really matter when you don't have an Uber to actually use. Which now they have, but they're down 3 and forced out. And despite the fact that we saw Professor Carr get that nice pick onto Flaming and secure that ad, it didn't really materialize into any kind of time advantage.
Yeah. There was no real gain from it, and I don't know. I'm just hoping that Witness here, they watch these traps on the wall, because from the way they're peeking lower, it seems like they're getting very aggressive. They do clear the stickies, and I think at this point, it's kind of just time for them to either... They need to decide what they're going to do, because I have no idea if they're posturing themselves to take the exchange or send a 4-man or try and bust out or what, but it looks like they're slowly moving through the floor. They're going to be getting in through lower. Pizza Hat on the point, the first line of defense. Good rockets coming in from Professor Carr. We'll have to jump away very low. Flip the point. Uber comes out from Flaming. Counter pop out now from Juice as they try to hold on to the point.
Die behind here.
Pizza Hat's behind them, but has to keep shooting the shiny players. Is in just a little too early. Gets taken down by Grapes even after that Uber's over. Maggie's is in behind Yellow Babbers
actually gets
on
a
concrete.
Free bomb off. Okay, but Flaming is able to kind of juke it. Oh, the man is in. Yeah, numbers are just not in the favor of blue right now, and Flame is so weak. They probably should just leave. And I'm quite surprised we didn't see the Uber come out of Babbers sooner. They waited until after the point was capped to exchange, rather than while the point was being capped. So we're making a play on the med. Does not work out. At this point, spawners are here. So Yellow Babbers, if they can get a pick and take an even numbers fight at least, Professor Carr might be that pick, is in fact. And now maybe on Babbers to make something happen on the point.
Yeah, it's up to the Babbers here to try and make something happen. Whether they will or not is up in the air. Even players at the moment, Big Bomb coming in from Witness Gaming Jr. as, I believe this is Meggies, goes in, finds Flaming. Not sure how much Uber they had at that drop. I believe it was about 90-ish. Somewhere in that ballpark. We do have Joe on the point. We'll cap, but this also denies their players for an extra few seconds, which isn't
Snower's
really...
behind as well.
Oh, wait, yeah, Snower's in. One rocket. Misses the air shot.
The air
Juice
shot.
lives for the moment. Juice is still alive, getting pinned by Pizza Hat.
Wow.
Goes down.
That was a nice cleanup, but yeah, Snower got a little antsy there. Probably had time to just rebomb and get a free kill, but went for the air shot. But still, I mean, down 2 players for the med kill. Very, very worthwhile. At this point now, Flaming gonna have a good 40 ad, which is more than relevant here. If Babbers can cap this point quickly, then that Uber advantage, if they're able to catch the other team's med, might just snowball into the round.
Yeah, they are looking like they want to try and pressure forward and use this as late as possible. They get Meggies. They want to hold on to this Uber. They don't even have it yet, which I think is more important at the moment. They're at 90, so any bit of damage is kind of scary. They finally have now. Lazy Guy dying will make trying to hold on to this point and get a little bit of space slightly harder, but they can manage. They have that Uber, and they're at 40 ad.
Exactly.
Ooh, wait a minute. Man and person going down. It looks like Professor Carr's caught in. Juice goes down. They had to use the Uber for it. The sloppy?
Committing there for the head. Yeah, that is exactly what they should have been looking for. Because again, you know, while you have ad but not Uber yet, the other team can fight. But if they forget that you're getting Uber, as we saw Witness Gaming Jr. did, then the other team's med is caught. You get to use the Uber and still have ad. So it is actually pretty slight ad. It actually doesn't really matter at all. But if Flaming were better at building here... Oh, it's crits, I'm being told. Okay, that makes sense why things are so even. Yeah, that Uber ad, if it was a non-crit scenario, would matter.
I don't think it matters. Snower's in on the beam, but not quite able to rebomb and get the kill. And this is not looking good for Yellow Babbers right now.
Yeah, this is actually pretty bad for them, because 20 seconds left. With the... At least it's crits rather than an Uber. I mean, it's hard to say that crits is really that worse here, because the surprise play, if you just get a bunch of kills here on, like, Professor Carr or something, then
you could
just
definitely
win.
use on Carr and just get a bunch of kills
Is this
in
a
main.
4-man?
I think
It
so.
looks like a 4-man, but they just don't have the time for that kind of play. I'm surprised these players didn't go in with heals. So, yeah, that will, in fact, be a round for Witness.
Yeah, Witness Gaming getting that round there. I'm not sure if Blue was also... I think Blue is also on crits here, looking over at it now. Pretty sure Blue was on crits for that final fight, so not sure why they chose to send in what looked like a 4-man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just... It probably wasn't intended to be a 4-man. They were just all rushing things rather than taking a more coherent fight. But we are looking at this next mid. Bomb in for Maggie's onto the med. Oh man, was not able to reload that rocket in time, but nearly got Flaming there. That amount of space is enough to convert the point. Snower going down in right house. Pizza Hat shoving that, does get shut down. At this point, oh my god, just running in. Down goes Juice, Joe Real trading out there. And it's very scary now. We have Grapes in on Flaming. Oh my god, Kitchen Sink is able to clean up. Professor Carr's in. Flaming is safe, so at least Blue has the super advantage. Spawner's on the way. Point might convert, but I imagine Babbers will cap it right back.
Yeah. I can't imagine that Witness Gaming will be able to hold on to this point for too long, especially with Yellow Babbers having as much Uber ad as they do. Joe Real goes down, though. Nice bomb from Professor Carr. Kitchen Sink sat on top of the point, getting a lot of good spam for his team. They will lose Professor Carr on the side of Witness Gaming Jr. Looks like Uber potential. Yeah, this is coming out here in Wood. They find Juice, which is going to be big for them. This is what you were talking about earlier, where they just kill the other med and still have Uber ad.
Yes, although, okay, it's gonna be like 10 ad, not really much. And again, with those fast bagel spawns, it's hard to get a lot of ad there. We do have Juice spawning crits again, and that crits could tick up faster than Uber, and it looks like it will hit 100% before Flaming gets that Uber charge. So much cap pressure as well from Witness Gaming Jr. They just outright get the point. A lot of players very weak, so yeah, the Pizza Hat flank through left house, able to clean up the med. And so many players are weak, there isn't really a great sack wave opportunity, meaning for the time being, Flaming relatively safe. Grapes is through left house. Oh man, Flaming 40 HP, but is able to survive. Now the man is in, getting shut down. And at this point, it is a little bit of trickle from Witness Gaming. I mean, you like your sacks to all happen at the same time, so that you not only overwhelm the defenses, but you don't have to like wait for all those spawns one after the other. They're kind of all on the same spawn wave.
Yeah, and I think Pizza Hat getting in there is a very good testament to why you need to have these houses under control. Uber comes from Flaming. They're running through, trying to pick off players. They find Mr. Person. Can they find Juice? They will find Juice at the last possible moment. Pizza Hat gets the kill. 1:18 on the clock for Yellow Babbers compared to Witnesses 2:11. This is a minute worth of time ad now, and we do have the man sat behind them, hiding on crate by the right spawn, going towards Wood now, looking to pinch these players caught in lobby. Is spotted by Joe Real, will lose the fight. They lose Mr. Person on Witness Gaming Jr. as well, and there's not a real window for them to push in right now. They have to just pull back and chill for a moment.
Yeah, and I'd call what's been happening kind of like the vortex or whirlwind of Koth, where you can really get caught in the perpetual Uber ads, where the other team, they have ad, they catch your med with the Uber, and it's still ad. You still fight the point as normal, they don't have Uber yet. Oh wait, they used, and we're dead again. It's still ad for them, kind of in perpetuity. This time around, it does look like Babbers are losing the fight, so they're going to have to get through at least a little bit of forward positioning. Ooh, the man just running in. Pick is definitely going to be nice for Babbers to get through, and get through they are. However, ooh, Uber actually gets popped. Things are probably going to even out here. Juice, 97. Yeah, is getting Uber, is using the Uber.
He's hatching behind, pinching Mr. Person.
Ooh, man. We'll see what kind of chase they can pull off. Actually, not much of a chase at all. Down goes Grapes. Joe Real is in on the med. Oh, man, Juice is maybe caught here. 20 HP. This is pretty chaotic. All things said and done. Ooh, Joe actually might just catch a kill here on a soldier. 8 HP there. Yup. Point is going to flip. Like 40-some seconds advantage for Babbers, even Ubers. It's definitely looking good for them right now.
Yeah, this is looking significantly better for Yellow Babbers here. Score is tied, but that could soon change if Yellow Babbers is able to hold on to this point, maintain control of it. Ubers are relatively even. I'm not sure. Yeah, so we still have red on stock Uber. We have them trying to push back into the point. Witness Gaming Jr. does actually flip the point just as it goes into overtime. 18 seconds left, or 1 minute 18 left, I should say.
Uber's
Kitchen Sink goes in, gets the force. Ubers come out from Yellow Babbers as well. Looks like this is just an overall DM
just more
on
kills
the
for
point.
Blue. They should close this out, I think.
Maggie's coming in from behind, though. Could make something happen.
What's nice as well in that kind of position is the fact that Witness Gaming capped means that the recap, in fact, is a lot of the times faster than waiting for the other team's cap time to just dwindle. So, yeah, when you're in that overtime position, sometimes the other team capping is a faster path forward than just killing them all and winning the next fight after that and the next fight.
Yeah, and I think Snower has locked in, letting the invite blood course through their veins here. Flaming goes down. Meggy's goes down in response, though. But at this point, it's up to Yellow Babbers to try and get juice, and they will. Kitchen Sink goes in for the salvage, and they will be successful. Pizza Hat gets the man. That's a domination to throw up on the board.
These players are weak on point. Lazy guy not able to secure any damage there.
Pizza Hat wrapping in, though.
Yeah, can clean up for sure.
Finds the soldier as well.
Grapes is half. It's basically even health between these two scouts. Pizza Hat is able to get the point, which is actually kind of nice. Like those, 6-some seconds is enough to just balance things out a bit, because that's 6 seconds the other team isn't capping. And look at that, the immediate recap didn't even deny anyone. So when all is said and done, despite Yellow Babbers kind of losing the mid, losing their med early, losing the point, they're definitely in a more comfortable position exiting that mid fight.
And I think, a little bit of a lock and load coming on from Mr. Person. Not sure if they've been on that the whole game here, but I think we're about to see some Tom Brady Hail Mary pipes getting thrown across the point. I already saw one hit Flaming and knock him up in the air, so already off to a great start with the lock and load. We do have Yellow Babbers, though, trying to push forward off of this kill onto Mr. Person. Witness Gaming Jr. forced to play a little bit more conservatively, forced to play a little bit further back on their concrete here in response. Maggie's and I believe this is Professor Carr over here looking to get some space, but Kitchen Sink gets through the house and takes down the man. Maggie's dies. Grapes finds Snower. Professor Carr finds Pizza Hat. Lazy dies as well. Uber gets popped from both teams. Bit of an exchange happening on the point, but time's still ticking down in favor of Yellow Babbers.
Yeah, it's going to be better spawns for Red, so they might be able to even convert the point, depending. And yeah, it is definitely looking like that. So there's at least that. Definitely went better for Witness Gaming Jr. But nonetheless, actually, Snower just aggro as hell in Right House, is able to find a demo kill on point. That might be enough to just flip the point right back in a moment. Kitchen Sink in on the med, getting some damage off, but does go down without getting the kill. We do have the man fighting on point. Ooh, Lazy guy getting very aggressive, just ran at by scouts. Suddenly the prospects of Yellow Babber capping the point back, looking a lot less likely. Flaming actually dying in the aftermath as well.
Yeah, this is a little unfortunate for Yellow Babbers here, losing Flaming there. This is a little bit of a... I don't want to say it's... it's not a game-ending situation. This is absolutely just, a point where times are evening out. You are facing a team with Uber ad against you. You kind of just have to rip a four-man here, but you're going to lose a lot of time for it. Kitchen Sink, Lazy guy. Wow, actually, that was more of a three-man than anything.
Yeah.
Pizza Hat is kind of stuck behind.
Worthwhile force there. Pizza Hat lives, then this is fine. Actually, yeah, in-house is an interesting position. I mean, if a player, tries to leave that, and then you can kind of get the jump on them, see, Yellow Babbers could just take the Uber through as well, and trust that the scout behind can pinch, or something to that effect. It almost looks like they plan on doing that. Lazy guy putting down a sticky to bomb with. Yup. Pizza Hat is activating now. Does make the play on the net and secures the kill.
Gets the pack. Could win the 1v1 with Grapes. Wins.
Oh, wow. That is just...
Oh,
man. Flaming dying in the post is brutal. But, I mean, overall, that was a well-thought-out plan and a well-executed one. Just play off the player behind, use the Uber. And, yeah, they got the point they denied, but with the amount of kills they got, I don't think that deny is going to lose them the point long-term.
Yeah, there's no way that this deny is going to lose them the point. They don't have Mr. Person on the side of Witness Gaming Jr., which I think is going to slow them down ever so slightly. They're going to have a hard time really contesting this refight that comes in from Yellow Babber as their players make their way to the front line. And you can see by the health just how much spam they're eating, how true that is, and they don't have control over their own house. Professor Carr jumps in behind, manages to pinch a little bit.
Goes the med.
Juice goes down too. Pizza Hat dying for it.
Bomb. Yeah, that's exactly that is exactly what you should do if you're Witness Gaming there. Your med dies, just immediately send it for theirs. Especially when you have the time advantage like they do. You can kind of just trade back and forth on the point, and you're just gonna win long term. It's definitely looking like Witness Gaming Jr. kind of posed to tie things up here. 10 seconds left. They can just take the fight from point. and just spam down and nuke the players as they're forced to cap, which they are forced to cap. You see Snower quite weak on point. Bomb in from Kitchen Sink at least trades out a kill, but yeah, not looking too great. The cleanup is happening. And yeah, tie game.
Yeah, this is certainly a match. We've gone through 4 rounds, and if this were a steamroll, we'd be donezo by now. But it's 2-2. This is anybody's game right now. I think it's pretty much been Babber witness here for the rounds that have been won. So it's back and forth non-stop. And if this, kind of flip-flop keeps happening, Yellow Babbers will be taking home Bagel, but until then, we have to focus on the fact that Mr. Person has died very, very early on. Pizza Hat pinching through house as he so does again. Has been picked off, but draws a lot of eyes back and gives the Yellow Babbers a lot of space. Tries to go for the bomb, not quite able to find anything. Picked off by Grapes,
now
but this forces them to play so far back. 3 players down now for the set of Yellow Babbers.
Really
the man coming in from the house
for this med. And it hasn't been working out the past, round and a half or so, because the picks do matter. I mean, when you get that much space as well, oh man, the Flaming, caught on the retreat as well. This is really bad for Babbers. When you have the point and you have all that space, sometimes it's fine to just be happy with what you've got, because we've seen the Yellow Babbers are more than capable of holding the point for a pretty long time and being good at that point play. But sometimes players get a flank and then they just try to trade their life out for the med, and then another one does the same, and then things kind of fall apart from there.
Yeah, and I think part of what that problem is, everything falling apart, is just they're not very coordinated when they do things. It's just kind of all over the place, it feels like. I don't know if they're trying to do things together, or if they're starting off that way and then it just rapidly falls apart. I don't know. It feels like they're very fragmented. It just feels like things are collapsing in on themselves, but hopefully things will turn around for the better.
Yep, Ubers have evened out now, and the exchange actually through the door. Lazy Guy, very weak. Man, that was a crazy bomb. Down a player in the post. Babbers are trading that out, but down goes Lazy Guy. It's kind of all up in the air because you have so many players really deep. Meanwhile, Flaming is getting chased back to spawn and almost dying. Juice does go down, so at least the aggression from Babbers, Scout and Soldier, got that value. And Flaming lived means that overall a very, very scary situation is turning out overall pretty okay.
Yeah, they turned a scary situation into just a very, very good one. I can't really think of any other way to describe it than just a great situation for them to be in. They're in the driver's seat right now. They're in control of what's happening, and they don't intend on letting go anytime soon. They want to make sure they can try and bring this one home and make the scoreline 3-2 as early as they possibly can. But there's a lot of damage coming out. Lazy Guy could die here soon if they're not careful. They have no control over the houses.
Binge Sync with a huge bomb onto Juice, but again, Juice living there. And Flaming 98, you really just want to get and play this Uber at this point. It is ad.
Oh.
Down goes the demo. Probably just take the Uber. Oh my god.
Don't even need to. Snower's chasing in deep once the med kill.
Yeah, but the spawners are here, so that will not happen. Wow. I was going to say there was some nice consolation for Witness Gaming because they had a huge amount of time ad. They still have some, but definitely dwindling. And especially considering that Juice doesn't have Uber quite yet. You can expect some time to tick before they can actually make a real attempt at the point. Notably as well, the man is now on Sniper, going for a peek. It looks like going back to spawn now. Sometimes Sniper you see as an attempt to break a forward hold. As looks like Snower getting the Force as well.
Yeah, the Force coming out from Juice here is really going to be unfortunate. They lose Pizza Hat, but Juice also dies in that post. The counter comes in from Yellow Babber as they try to find Meggies in left house. They are not able to get the pick. They will escape. Grapes tries to go in for a kill onto Flaming, and it will be the man mopping up on the damage. Meggies coming in behind, trying to, I assume, find a pick here to make them being behind worthwhile, but they will not find anyone. They're on a slightly delayed spawn wave, and this gives Yellow Babber a pretty big chunk of time at. Snower bombing in from concrete, lands a nice rocket to help Pizza Hut clean up Juice, and this gives Flaming what can only be described as a significant ad.
Yep, and that was a great time for that to happen as well. I mean, if you're Babbers, you're not super scared about whether or not Witness Gaming Jr. capped the point, because all they're doing by capping is denying their own med spawn, making it pretty easy for you to recap. The 4-man is looking to come out. Maybe it's just Meggies bombing out of the med, but the solo bomb is enough. Down goes Flaming. Suddenly it's going to be ad in the hands of Juice. Never mind, down goes Juice, and the man soon to follow thereafter. So Ubers will not come into play by the time this hits overtime, it's looking like.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Red is going to cap here. So Uber advantage is still on the table to maybe matter here. But, definitely getting down to the wire.
Yeah. I mean, this is how the last couple rounds have always been. This is down to the wire. If I'm not mistaken, Red has come up on crits. Witness Gaming Jr. wants to be able to have this Uber up in time. Though I don't know if they'll be able to get it, but with the demo going down here, Grapes finding Lazy, with the help of Mr. Person, of course, this might be... This might be a little bit risky for Yellow Babbers to try and keep fighting. The time is even. They don't really have the opportunity to back away from this now, though. Kitchen Sink bombing forward, knocks the beam away. Flaming at 80%, is getting bombed, though. Professor Carr tries to get damage, but gets nothing. There's no damage from these rockets. Demo comes in. Lazy's very weak. It's taken down by Meggies here. Now Joe dies on the point. It's just Flaming. Now the Scout tries to come in, but Witness Gaming Jr. with a very efficient and very effective push into the point, despite their med getting knocked away, claims the third round, ends the flip-flopping score, and takes their second round in a row.
Yeah, Flaming was at like the low 90% there. I think if Yellow Babber really actually prioritized getting their Uber, then that is just a round for them. But unfortunately, they did not get Uber in time when all the pieces fell. Nonetheless, though, we do see Meggies bombing in, committing on the Lazy Guy, getting that kill. So much space across the point from the red team, but Snower with that classic house shove gets a lot of damage on the other team's med, but again, not that kill. And that so far has kind of been the difference maker, whether these... Oh man, the cleanup actually. This is looking like a wipe for the red team, actually. But yeah, a lot of those flanks that Yellow Babbers have been able to pull off, whether they actually convert into kills on the other team's med or not, has been a bit of a difference maker in which way these rounds go.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, like you said, whether they turn into kills or not, they're still drawing the eyes back nonetheless. I mean, we've seen Pizza Hut push through that. Hold on, hold this thought. There's a big bomb coming through the concrete. Looks like Witness Gaming Jr. wants to bust through here. The man coming through the house onto the point has alerted the team to his presence, does manage to find Kitchen Sink. He's trying to take the 1v1 with Snower, gets picked up by Pizza Hut, though.
Yeah,
Flaming
2 is going to get cleaned up by this. Nope. Oh my god, Pizza Hut. That is that's a remarkable live from Flaming. I don't know how they survived that. Ubers are going to be even when all is said and done, so not even really ad, but still, what a live. And as well, I mean, 30 seconds of time advantage, so Yellow Babbers, really name of the game at this point is just stopping the cap time, which is not looking to happen. Yeah, point will just flip.
Yeah, there's no real reason, I think, for them to get too crazy. I think they should have tried to at least put up a little bit more fight, stop the cap, and provide a little bit more resistance. But no real reason for them to get super crazy. They lose Lazy here, which is going to be super detrimental. They're going to probably lose Flaming here as well.
Yeah.
Ooh. The melee kill from Joe Real gets the first melee kill of the game here, I think. We'll find the man with the help of Pizza Hut as well. Snower finally wandering forward.
Getting some cap time. Hard deny on the soldier as well, so Babbers probably going to get the point here, which is nice. Joe not even getting denied either. Late demo death as well from Mr. Person. So, Yellow Babbers, it is slight disad, 15%. I'm going to check now if that's crits or not. Okay, it is actually crits Krieg. So some crits disad. We'll see how this crits plays out, or whether Juice can even build the crits, because so far, Babbers have definitely been very med hungry and trying to kill Juice before even getting Uber.
Yeah, they've been extremely hungry for the med. They keep feeding in, trying to get their feast, but a lot of the time it ends up being famine. They're just not quite able to find their way in, and this is kind of a similar situation. They tried to go in for Juice here, I believe, that looked like a 4-man, or at least an attempted one, before the Beam and Scout were able to back out fully, and in such, we kind of... We watched them pretty much wipe instantaneously. At the bare minimum was at the same exact time. They were together when it happened, so they're all up at the same time. They're all coming out to fight.
No kills yet. Oh my god, flaming dropped. That's brutal.
You have to use there.
Okay, at least Juice is dying in the post here. It looks like... I don't want to call it too early. Oh my god. That is crazy. Pizza Hat could still... Nope, Pizza Hat does go down as well. Wow. Well, at least they know about the crits now, so it's a lot less threatening in that respect. Person goes down. I mean, it's not over for Babbers. Oh, Snower's going to die as well. Both soldiers just kind of dying there. Lazy guy turning it into a sack wave. Yeah. Okay, well, gonna be another forward hold here. Down a demo, I suppose, for Witness Gaming Jr. But now clock is in their favor. Things aren't looking great for Yellow Babbers.
Yeah, there is not a lot looking in their favor. If Witness Gaming Jr. can play this right, they can utilize the crits properly, they should be able to wrap this one up in a neat little bow and take home Bagel. But I guess we'll have to find out. Mr. Person does die again, so they're not going to have the demo to pull lower with.
Okay, they use it. I really thought that'd be a drop.
They're bombing in on the beam. The crits gets popped.
Yeah, Uber does kind of trump the crits there. That was very close to a drop from Flaming again. Professor Carr is behind. Okay, gets spotted now. Should get dealt with. Point will get capped off. So, Yellow Babbers, again, a big time deficit to make back up, but at least things have stabilized. They can try to forward hold. Their demo's going to be really slow to actually get on the door, so we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, I mean, minute left. Plenty of time for both teams to build Ubers, so Uber ad not going to have round implications yet. But, oh, actually, what is... Flaming is real passive right now. That is interesting. Oh, against the impending 4-man. They read that very well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, they just read that very well. That was a nice heads-up play to know that there was going to be a 4-man coming in. I think they kind of figured that now with the med dying. There's no way they would stay on crits for this, especially with their, time being so close. Witness only needs to win one fight, maybe kill 2 people in it, and then just kill the stragglers within that fight to win Bagel. So Witness is probably going to be a little bit more reckless. Yeah, the man going down. Nice pick. Grapes going down now as well. Snower dies, so maybe Witness Gaming can kind of mop up these kills, but no, okay. Kitchen Sink finds Meggies as well. And this is still crits, actually. Wait a minute.
Uber gets used. Yeah, this is looking like a round, actually, for Yellow Babbers. They just get enough kills. Professor Carr probably can't pull off enough. Grapes, yeah, even a rocket. Does get shut down, and wow, down to match point. Yellow Babbers, that was very close. That was, honestly, that was just like a few ticks off from another crits Uber drop, and this being Witness Gaming time thing, or just taking the map outright, actually.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, whoever wins this round will win Bagel, and we'll be moving on to the second map of the series. This is probably one of the longer games we've covered in the last couple weeks, just looking at these games. We do have Meggies going deep. Pizza Hat rather, will find Mr. Person. Meggies goes down as well, so Yellow Babbers has a little bit of player add, 2 players worth as they find the man, Snow, we're going to be getting credit for that kill. And it looks like Witness Gaming Jr. backing out early, trying to keep their players alive, and Juice is back on stock this time around. Flaming has some decent ad they will be able to use pretty early if they need to.
Yeah, I think
but
they're going to play this evens because they just don't expect to be building better. Okay, the soldier spotted the rotation left, so we see a bit of a rotation as well. Both soldiers bombing the door, getting the force. Okay, counter Uber gets popped. Is Snower going to get saved or not? Snower does get flashed. Okay, because again, that pick would matter a lot in the post. However, Lazy Guy dying. Maggie's finding 2 kills. Down goes Snower. So post definitively worse now for Yellow Babbers. They have the point. They at least got a nice 1-minute cushion, but they're likely going to have to give up the point now. Yeah. Oh, we're being told that Silky is not an alias for Juice and is in fact a different person. I just assumed it was an alias.
Yeah, I just assumed it was an alias. Yeah, I don't know if we were told by our person ahead of our producer that this was a thing, but I could also, you know, struggle with reading a little bit, so could have missed that. But Silky, Silky, different person than Juice.
Oh, Uber just getting popped. Immediate counterpot from Silky as well. Lazy Guy is maybe dying here, almost certainly dying. And actually, Yellow Babbers combo just ran all the way to the other side, so they're 100% caught in the post. Flaming actually, with a nice surf, is maybe living. Silky dying as well in the post. Flaming is committing to this fight though, which is kind of dangerous. At this point though, 2 kills later against only Meggies. Definitely a bit safer for Flaming to be involved. Does cap, only denies Pizza Hat. Oh man, kitchen sink with that late pick as well means that deny really isn't going to matter as far as the point is concerned. And now with time pretty much evened up, ticking in Yellow Babber's favor, Flaming does have a nice 30-ish 40 ad.
Yeah, this is going to be a nice safety net to play around with, even if you lose some players, but they don't even need the safety net as Silky goes down. Pizza Hat dies now as well. Flaming backs up, anticipating some kind of push, a little bit of a death ball happening there. Yeah, but House not being controlled. Grapes gets
this is one of those positions where, like, you really don't want to just put all your eggs in the point basket. It's fine if they cap. They're going to deny a bunch of players if they cap. The recap's going to be pretty easy. You just killed their med. You have 80 ads, so yeah. At this point, it looks like they're going to take this Uber. Yeah, Silky is pretty committed, but the Uber's not going to be as good as if those projectile players... Okay, still fine with the med, but if those projectile players were still around to, you know, spread some splash damage, then that probably gets more.
Yeah. This is, I think Yellow Babbers here, with the time ad, with the Uber ad, they're just going to be able to take it a little bit slow. They're going to be able to waddle their way forward into that point. They don't really have to worry about too many players dying. Of course, you want to limit that as much as possible, and Lazy stays in a little too much, gets caught out by Grapes, so that'll make it a little bit harder for them to push forward, but trading it out with the man should equalize the pressure. Kitchen Sink actually going to be able to find Professor Carr as well, so this could be a little bit easier now for Yellow Babbers to try and push in and take control of the point yet again.
They do just that, and at this point, 80%, I mean, that kind of vortex is coming into play yet again, because if Silky is caught when Flaming hits 100%, we might just see an Uber get used from Babbers and catch that medic again. Might not happen because of this slow rotation through the left side, so Silky will, in fact, get Uber charge in time. But 50 seconds left for Yellow Babbers. Uber gets popped, actually. Joe Real dying, so that's 1 kill for Witness Gaming Jr. in the post. Make that 2 with Lazy Guy dying. Okay, picks are now getting traded out. 2 versus 2 on either side. It's really anyone's call for this post, but suddenly a bunch of kills come in favor for Babbers. Kitchen Sink soon to go down, but trying to secure one last rocket on the Silky, who hits a crazy surf out, but last one alive, gonna get chased down and killed by Pizza Hat, making that crazy, chaotic post-Uber fight suddenly just fall heavily in the favor of Yellow Babbers.
Yeah, this is a very, very strong advantage for Yellow Babbers to have, and I'm pretty sure this is the Witness Gaming map pick. So, given their current situation, it looks like they're going to be losing on their own pick. Obviously, there is still time left on the clock for them to come back, but if they're not careful, this could spell the end for them.
Yeah.
Good bomb coming in from Meggy, separates Flaming, but doesn't get the kill. Meggy goes down, the man goes down, bomb from Kitchen Sink, gets Silky here, and this,
Flaming
I think,
does go down.
well, actually, it's even players. Now it's... Oh, it's just Professor Carr on the point versus Pizza Hat, though.
I mean, if there's anyone that you trust with this fight, it's Pizza Hat. And does get that. I don't think the man and Maggie's can make it in time.
No, there's no lag.
Man, that was actually really scary at the end, because it really was going to come down to whether Flaming got Uber or not. Because if Flaming gets Uber and pops it, just instant win. I mean, it's the win button, right, in a position like that. But Flaming ended up dying to an errant sticky, and suddenly now you have to trust your guys to win 2v2s and win 1v1s. But Pizza Hat has been showing up all of Bagel here, and definitely a nice player to have clutch things out at the end.
Yeah, this is definitely a good fight to remember, especially if you're Pizza Hat there getting the game-winning kill. I mean, that's just a good map of Bagel. Take a quick look at the logs just momentarily before we toss it to a break. Oh.
This is not what I expected to see.
Oh my.
Yeah, this is a similar story to those of you who were tuning into the prior match of Donk Daddies versus Thank You Gummies of Edgar. Their scout was just dropping a hammer, and this time around, Grapes with 76 kills. An unbelievably high number of kills to be getting. Now, granted, there's a lot of kills both ways, because both of Yellow Babbers scouts are just shy of getting 50 each. But, oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is... Grapes was just kind of playing the cleanup crew there, to be honest with you. Took a lot of fights and cleaned up a lot of kills. Really doing his job well, playing versatile, and just killed whoever was in front of him, really. If you put someone in front of Grapes, they were as good as dead there. I mean, going 425 DPM on Scout on Bagel. You expect to have a high DPM game if you're playing Scout on Koth, because it's just a more DM-oriented mode. You can do a lot with Scout on Bagel, or any Koth mode in general, or any Koth map in general, rather. But 76, 17, and 26 is just insane.
Yeah, crazy stuff. The kills as well, kills and damage, both very, very close between these two teams. I mean, it's kind of what we were... You could maybe expect to see it based on the fact that the score was so close as well. Notably as well, between the med stats, Silky dying many more times than Flaming, which honestly, with that differential in med kills, it's pretty surprising that Babbers didn't win more confidently round-wise, because that's almost double. And obviously having Uber ad and having your med alive are both very important things on a Koth map.
Oh yeah, 100%. Those are super important, and obviously we saw that the medic for Witness Gaming Jr. was just, even though the drops say that the medic for Yellow Babbers was dropping more often, it felt like the medic for Witness Gaming Jr. was just left out to dry a bit more. There were a lot more times where they would push forward, but it would feel like they didn't have a lot of they didn't have a lot of room to fall back into. But I mean, these logs kind of only tell a small portion of the story. If you were to look at this, you would assume that it should be, a total blowout game, 76 kills. But no, this is a Yellow Babbers win. The man with 76 kills is not on the winning team, but rather on the team that got so close, but was so far away from the win.
Yep. Okay, we are going to be restarting the stream in a moment, but before that, we have a little shout out to Liquid.tf, premier marketplace for buying unusuals cheaply. even up to 80% off. And it's a sponsor here of the TF2 Coaching Central Cup. So, exclamation point Liquid TF. Check that out.
But yeah, we're going to be restarting the stream a little bit, fix some HUD issues. Noticed it was lagging a little bit, so we're going to try and fix that really quickly. But we'll be back to you as soon as possible with Process in the grand final of this Newbie Cup. And we are back. Hopefully the issues have been resolved, but we are ready to play some Process, or I guess to say we're ready to cast some Process as we move on to map 2 in the series. Predictions are live. If you want to gamble, use some of them Twitch channel points. Get it twisted, you will profit. Bet on your favorite team. Given the performance that Yellow Babbers has just put up, I think I'm gonna throw some money their way. I think I'll put a nice clean 3,500 in the Yellow Babbers pool.
You know, there is that to consider, which team you think you'll win. But after such a close bagel as we just saw, do we really think Yellow Babbers are 91% likely to win? Because even if they win, let's say 60% of the time, if it's still 91 in their favor in the odds, then you're gonna make money long term by betting on Witness Gaming Jr.
Get the professional gambling analysis happening right here. So, guys, if you want to listen to Wild Rumpus, put some money where your mouth is. Put some money into Witness Gaming Jr. Equalize the points a little bit. Make it so that if Yellow Babbers win, I make a little bit more money off the win.
I wasn't going to disclose that I had already put in money on Yellow Babbers at that point. So yeah, I would like for a little bit closer odds, get a better payout. But we are on Yellow Babbers map pick now. This is 5CP, which plays quite differently from Koth, but I mean, we'll have to see how things are really all that different, because this is certainly a map that both teams are more than comfortable on, and definitely one in which Yellow Babbers think they have the best odds of winning on.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a Yellow Babbers map pick. So I wonder if this is one of the 4 maps in the pool that they're saying they feel the most comfortable on, or they're picking it because it's like even ground. Maybe they pick it because it's just the most even chance both teams have. Maybe they're not as familiar with it, but it's Process. It's not that hard to figure out, not that hard to adapt to things happening on the map at any given time. There's a lot of things you can do differently and all that kind of stuff. So I think Process here, going to be a good pick, a good bit of gameplay between the teams, and a fantastic match to cover on top of all of that.
Yeah, true. And honestly, I do wonder if Process maybe favors Witness Gaming Jr. a little bit, in the sense that a real issue they were having was that Grapes was kind of collecting every single kill, and the houses weren't really being watched that well, so you had Snower and Pizza Hat kind of getting free flanks, getting free med kills, and things of that nature. On a map like Process, flank is a lot easier to understand and watch. So I expect that's going to be less of an issue, and also just being able to beam your scout and collect a lot of kills is probably going to be easier to pull off. So we'll have to see how things shake out with that in mind, because again, like, just having the scout killing everyone on beam can be quite nice on a 5CP map where your combo can do a lot more of the legwork, versus on Koth you definitely need your flank to be on top of things as well.
Yeah. And in that topic of Bagel, you have a lot more things to keep track of than you have than you have to deal with on something like, say, process mid. You have to worry about, are these houses being watched? Am I in danger of getting pinched constantly? You only have to worry about that sometimes on process. You still have to worry about it, but it's not going to be, the front of your mind, one of the biggest things that you have to keep your attention on, because these mid fights, and pretty much anywhere else, as long as you are taking your time clearing things, you're not going to have to worry about stuff. You're not going to have to worry about, maintaining control of sewer or something. It's just not a variable that you have to factor in. And it's going to make these mid fights especially, I should say, more straightforward. And we're going to be seeing a lot more of the technical sides of things brought out from these teams. Who has better mechanics, who can hit their shots better, I think is going to be really the more important deciding factor of this mid.
Yeah, as far as mid fights are concerned, we were seeing on Bagel that Meggies and Professor Carr were pretty happy to be double bombing. And usually bomb-oriented strategies on mids on Koth are a little less common, just because the picks tend to matter more. So losing your guys with aggressive bombs isn't always... It's just riskier in Koth than it would be in a 5CP a lot of the time. But the fact that they were still going for it on Bagel definitely indicates that we can see a lot of bomb-oriented mid-fight plans here on 5CP, where it's a lot more of a standard coming out of Witness Gaming Jr.
Yeah, and one map that is not in the pool this season is Snakewater, where double bombs on mids are the staple. You have something like Process Sunshine, where it's more of a rotational mid. You can do bombs, it's absolutely an option, but it's not the most common thing you see. It's a little bit more, I don't want to say unorthodox, but it's a little bit less common, a little bit less utilized. But if you time things properly, you absolutely can do some crazy damage, more so than you can with a rotational mid with a properly executed double bomb situation that you've got going on. But I guess it'll really be up to these teams to decide whether or not they're going to do the double bombs. I mean, when you go to a map like Process, you don't often think of doing a double bomb. I know I tried to do a double bomb a lot because bombs just feel a little bit more natural to me. So double bombing on a map like Process, a little bit awkward, but you can absolutely make it work. I mean, if you're able to land at their choke and just get a lot of damage, or even if you're just able to land on height and get a nice sync rocket onto maybe the demo or something, you have a lot of space made instantaneously, and your team can kind of just run across the point to catch up with you.
Yeah, I mean, on a mid fight, just a double bomb your soldiers and your combo walks forward type of plan. There's going to be some situations in which it's definitely more favorable than others, but very rarely is it just an outright mistake. And it's not only that, but a very easy plan to follow. It takes a little bit of courage, because you are likely losing a soldier, if not both of your soldiers. And if that doesn't materialize into anything, then you will lose the mid. And sometimes you lose the mid catastrophically as well. But compared to just showing up to mid without a clear plan, maybe individual players don't know necessarily the nuances of how their role might play a mid in different scenarios and all that. Like, double bombing is such a easy plan to understand and follow in comparison that I think it is quite a nice one to have, especially for a newer team. And yeah, that being said as well, I mean, even if the mid fight itself doesn't go to plan, as long as you kill the other team's med, you don't have to worry about a mid to last. You don't have to worry about losing the round. So yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about a lot of things like that, but we are going live to what could potentially be the final map if Yellow Babbers is up to it and is able to take this best of 3 series in a clean 2-map sweep. But time will tell as we show up to this mid. It looks like Yellow Babber is actually going to be a little bit quicker to the mid. Witness Gaming significantly slower, actually, but more available to commit to a side of mid. Bomb coming in from Professor Carr, not able to get anything, and it does look like Yellow Babber is going to be continuing to rotate. They stop for a moment in the corner, which for all intents and purposes, they should be dead to rights. Maggie's going to go down. Grapes going to go down. Lazy Guy dies for the pick onto Grapes, but that is a good trade to have, especially if you can get 2 picks for 1 there. Mr. Person dies. Snower goes in to try and capitalize off of the good damage that they have in that choke, but does die. I'm not sure if they were able to pick anyone off there. But 4 players down for the side of Witness Gaming Jr. Looks like Yellow Babber is going to be able to just cap mid and walk on into second.
Yeah, and on that mid, Joe Real and Pizza Hat did a fantastic job of just denying bombs. Both Meggies and Professor Carr made attempts to bomb in, maybe for space, sometimes for a commit, but in both cases, they just got hard denied. We do see a pretty successful refight here. Oh man, and Meggies gets the drop as well. Wow. Yeah, Flaming not expecting that 3rd rocket to come out, so the aggressive attempt to fight 2 there did not work out for Babbers, but a counter drop.
Dies too.
Yeah, the very classic +4 that you see all the time in newcomer games and whatnot does show itself here as well.
Yeah, this is, oh boy. The good old +4, as you said. I mean, there's no real better way to describe it other than just calling it a +4. Med drop for med drop, band for band, if you will, however you want to describe it. That equalizes the fight, equalizes the pressure, and this is going to be a even refight for the mid, especially with Lazy Guy being dead. Has to come out from has to roll out all the way from 2 and has to show up very weak onto mid. Does look like Grapes goes down trying to pressure through that choke. So I think Yellow Babber here has an opportunity to maybe rip a sack through if they want to, or they can just build the Super out and try and rip it quick if they want to go for the exchange on second.
Yeah, when all is said and done, you're definitely fine with how the pieces fell if you're Yellow Babbers, because that drop was neutralized, and they've been building a lot better as well. It almost looks like they want to play the Uber. They are build checking. Very interesting. Silky is caught. Okay. Lazy Guy hits a sticky. Silky's still
caught by
in.
1!
Does go down. So at this point, it's all about keeping Flaming alive, and the name of the game there is positioning. On top of the point is definitely the best positioning to have on that nice high ground. Maggie's bombing in, Flaming hitting a surf, but the second soldier bombs. Professor Carr, oh my god,
this is the final
can't get the rocket off.
The med kill!
Crazy lid there from Flaming, and that is going to be quite important as well. Oh my god, Pizza Hat is getting crazy on last. Finds a kill as well.
He does not care. He's taking a lot of damage into Mr. Person. Right? Oh, there is way. There is way, and we are finding it right now. Somehow Grapes has not died yet. A lot of whiffage coming in.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That was actually looking pretty... Oh, never mind.
Wait a minute. Yeah, it turned around. It turned around instantly.
That was bizarre, to say the least. I didn't realize the spawns were that late. I didn't think that Pizza Hat had any business on last, but no. The 2v2 is definitely worth taking there. Flaming dying is rough because you lose your backup plan of having that add into last. But no, it still turned out good for Yellow Babbers, albeit a little bit scary.
Yeah, very frightening situation to be in if you're Yellow Babbers, but you turned it around. You took home the win. 4-minute round dub for Yellow Babbers, and that's going to set the tone. But a big bomb comes in from Maggie's, finds Flaming, and Joe Real. 2 players for the price of 1. The man dies to Snower. Now Snower finds Mr. Person as well. Going towards Choke, knows that Silky is in here. Juggled up 1 in the final rocket to get a 4K on the mid, securing the dub on this mid fight for Yellow Babber as they move forward to get some space on second and potentially spot into last.
Yeah, seeing that double bomb that we were kind of expecting out of Witness Gaming Jr., and it definitely did what it was supposed to. It got the med kill. Oh man, Snower. Getting a little aggro there in lobby. Gets caught. But Yellow Babber played it very well. I mean, you lose your med early into a mid, you gotta play things pretty quickly, because the longer that fight goes, the more of a difference you not having heals while the other team does will make. So they played it fast. They ended up just getting a lot of kills on combat, and then the med, with no one to heal, no one to protect them, goes down last. Ooh,
yeah.
Here.
Ooh,
wow,
gets the Lazy Guy. That's an unfortunate pick to have thrown your way. Uber gets ripped. They find the man. They're going to have their scout take down. The sentry gun soldier jumps in, takes it down with him.
Good.
A lot of players dead. for the side of Witness Gaming Jr. They just don't have the players alive to defend the point. So in an Uber that looked probably not the greatest while down their demo, doesn't matter, as Yellow Babber is able to come in with a very strong presence and take control of that point quickly, getting themselves their second round in only 2-ish minutes.
Yeah, that Uber, despite losing the demo before Uber's even popped, still kind of got everything it needed to. The gun is going to be hard to take out without the demo, but Scout was able to do that. They found a demo kill as well. Oh man, on mid, Snower actually getting punished pretty early, chased down by a Scout. Down that kill as well. Babber could leave if they wanted to, but they traded out the kill. Their positioning is not great. They're definitely backed up versus Red having a lot more control. That being said, Demo trades out with Soldier, and then Demo trades out with Medic. Silky dying is definitely the big pick to know here, so it really is about keeping Flaming alive. Backing up and exiting Choke, definitely the correct call to make here, because again, you will win this mid long term. You have the heals, they don't. It's just a matter of keeping your Medic alive. And that was a nice kite. It was enough to get the man and Professor Carr to just leave outright. And now it's going to be full ad for Yellow Babbers into second.
Yeah, Yellow Babbers wants to take this in quick. They want to rip it fast, but they don't want to use. They want to take as much space as possible without having to use. And they're going to have Snower fade high into the choke and then have Kitchen Sink jump up towards the point. They lose Snower. Grapes finds the kill. Goes a little deep. They're going to lose Pizza Hat as well. So they have the Uber. They're able to stay in if they really want to, but I would not recommend. But now they have the man as a pick. Maybe they can stay. Wow. Bomb coming in from Kitchen Sink. I think there was an air shot onto Professor Carr, if I'm not mistaken, a downward air shot. And despite all odds, it looks like Yellow Babber has taken second, but at the cost of their Uber.
Yeah, the Uber didn't really even matter for those kills they got either, which is a little tough, so it will be disad now. As, oh, Soldier's in. That's a nice pick to get early on. Maggie's as well, and the man are both committed, without the combo being committed for the Uber. And Grapes switches to an off class, so it's like Witness Gaming Jr. simultaneously refused to play their Uber out of last and were just holding up with off classes, while also just sacking 3 out of last. Very confusing play.
Oh,
down goes
Pizza
the
Hat.
Yeah, this is looking, that's just a round.
Goodness gracious. What seemed like would be a loss of second for Yellow Babbers just turns into something beautiful for them. Witness Gaming Jr. sacking 3 players out. The snipe coming in onto Grapes as well, taking down the Putis. This team is seemingly unstoppable. It's only been 8.5 minutes. They're already up 3 rounds. Fast bomb onto the demo, and nice rockets from Snower, double directing the man down. Mr. Person is out of the fight. Bomb comes in from Professor Carr, not able to land anything. Another bomb comes in from Meggy, still not able to land anything. Both soldiers out of this one, trying to get healed as Yellow Babbers slowly rotate their way into red corner, landing right behind Silky. Not quite able to get it. Snower does find Meggy's here. It is a trade, and Silky is very, very low. But I don't think they're going to be able to get that pick. Kitchen Sink goes in. Yeah, nice pipes. Not going to be able to really net themselves anything on Yellow Babber, though.
This is bad for Babbers.
Yeah, well, it's turned to something bad.
Actually, so, yeah, Silky is just
Wait,
caught
they're just
here.
in!
Wow. Yeah, just poor building on the part of Red. Oh, no. Is Flaming going to be caught in the post?
They could get Mr. Person as well.
They probably needed to insta back up once they got that med kill, but instead Flaming 10 HP might get, yeah, it does get pistoled down. Man, so focused on the Uber, forgot about the post. Many such cases, but nonetheless, at least it will be close to even. Silky is now healing, so slight ad for Red, but I don't know who's going to win mid, all things considered. If Carr dies here, okay, yeah, Babbers likely to get the mid here, but man, and keep in mind as well, they had a demo pick early on, and Red just stayed in and fought, and it, like, worked out for them.
I think also Yellow Babbers probably could have just hard committed in as well in that post. Get as far away. Really, you could just get as far away in any direction from those people as possible. You could get down Mr. Person as well and have things work out in your favor. But it looks like Yellow Babbers, in spite of all this, is going to be able to move forward, as I believe Snower took down Silky. And that's going to be a very, very important pick for Yellow Babbers to have as they look to secure themselves their fourth round.
Almost gets a kill there, and the man does not quite find it. You can just slow play this if you're Yellow Babbers. Get your med that pack. It is add. It's plenty. I mean, if they're pushing into 2 now and dry push, it's add into last. Looks like they might want to pop. You see, Lazy Guy not setting up for the bomb. Pizza Hut actually gets shoved and killed. Uber does get popped. Are they gonna get enough kills to make it worthwhile? They find 1. Mr. Person will be caught. That's 2. Uber's ending in last as well. Very aggressive. Lazy Guy goes down. Suddenly it's a little up in the air for how this fight is going to go for Babbers.
Yeah, this is a little bit wonky. This isn't the greatest fight to have taken. Flaming will go down, so will Joe Real. There's a little bit of cap time coming in from Kitchen Sink, possibly trying to go in for Silky here, as they have about 95 Uber and counting up. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot that came out of that fight for Yellow Babber, and they're not going to be able to get anything out of it. Snower going in, possibly looking for the sack, takes the rocket, hits the sink, goes in.
Oh my god. What?
Oh my goodness gracious.
And Mr. Person died in that as well. Oh man, and the man, or excuse me, Graves is going down to top things off. Maggie's trying to leave 2. All these players are weak. Now keep in mind, Babbers still have to cap seconds. That's going to slow things down a little bit, at least force a scout. Actually, the whole combo is stacking. So yeah, there will be spawners in time. There won't be a fight on last off of the picks. So this should just be Yellow Babbers getting their Uber and taking a more standard Uber into last. But wow, what a play there from Snower and Lazy Guy to not only spoon drop the med, but get a demo pick too.
I mean, that was just magnificent. Masterclass gameplay right there. The spoon to add the style points on top of it. I mean, it's just amazing. They lose Snower early to the sniper, but the demo is caught on the left side. Will go down. Pizza Hat going to be able to find that kill. Tree goes down as well. Potentially, Meggy's going down in the back line. Both soldiers on top of the point, very weak, and there's no one left alive to defend the point. It's 4-0 for Yellow Babber as they inch further, or as they inch closer to their Newbie Cup Grand Finals win. Just one more round, as this is now match point. If they win this round, they win the series in a 2-0 sweep, making it a clean win. You know, I mean, this is very dominant from Yellow Babber.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that Bagel was just not their map, because they had to fight a very closely fought, tight win, versus now it's looking more of a blowout. That being said, Yellow Babbers kind of gave up all the positioning. They're backed up towards choke. Car, though, goes down. Bombs come out from Kitchen Sink. Oh, man. 3 down for Yellow Babbers. And make that 3 for 3. Pizza Hat will likely be the 4th, turning the tide. So now it's 2 scouts and a med versus 1 scout and a med. Joe Real and Flaming really should just be getting out. I don't know what they're doing.
They're getting pinched by the man here. Flaming dies.
That's
Spark
exactly,
of life from Witness Gaming Jr.
Exactly what you can expect to happen with something like that. Sometimes you just have to realize a fight is gonna go poorly just off of the numbers, versus you know, realizing it's going poorly as it's going poorly and getting punished for it.
Yeah, getting punished for poor positioning there. I mean, that's just kind of unfortunate set of circumstances. You have to play now with something you've been playing with the entire time. So hopefully they know how to play around this full disad. Hopefully they know how to deal with things coming their way. I'm assuming they'll know how to kite this Uber correctly. They have the NG going up, interestingly enough. I don't think this is what you want to do, but the gun is level 2 right now, so this could work in their favor. Uber comes out. Sentry hasn't been spotted just yet. Now it goes down. As I say that, they're looking to tank this point here. A lot of good cap time, 3x, 4x, but they explode out of the spawn. 2 players down. Silky dies as well. Soldiers are caught up in heaven, but it's 3 alive on the side of Yellow Babber. Soldier up in heaven. It's just Maggie's actually. But wait, he gets Joe. It's just Lazy Guy. He can't pick the point.
Oh my god.
Lazy
that
Guy,
is remarkable.
You can't duck towards spawn there.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Maggie's from Heaven was just able to get that much value done. Notably as well, the man had a nice play there. Not only killing the heavy, but also finding the pick on the flaming, which, I mean, if those remaining players on Yellow Babbers were healed by a medic, then I don't think that Maggie's can pull something like that off.
Yeah. Maggie's just came up with a hat trick there. I think that's what that was, because in other circumstances, I think Maggie's would get picked off very, very quickly, and there would be a very easy last hold for Yellow Babber. But they do lose Lazy Guy. It's a demo for a soldier, so they need to look for something to trade. Snower dies. 2 players down for the side of Yellow Babber. 3 players down now for the side of Witness Gaming Jr. This is Nuclear as Kitchen Sink finds 2.
Skip in.
And, goodness gracious, they're going deep for that med. They want him.
Yep. Oh, so
they're
didn't
actually
get the pack
finishing.
either. Oh man, 13.
Ooh.
This is still chaseable.
They live.
I'm very surprised that the scout didn't commit there, because just a little bit of chip damage. I don't think it was really articulated just how weak Silky was. And honestly, I mean, if I'm Kitchen Sink there, I'm assuming that Silky got the pack and got plenty of regen, so they probably would have been more like 70 HP rather than, you know, low double digits.
Yeah, I don't know. That seemed like a very chaseable situation, but I think Kitchen Sink was just a little worried that he might get obliterated by the scout if he tries to go in. Lazy flubs the jump, takes the sentry down early, though, in front of the Stickies on top of the point. They need to be careful. If they're not, they are going to get taken out by this counter pop. They lose Lazy in it, caught in the corner, caught in the geometry, but Joe Real on top of the med. Silky 1 HP here, but doesn't die. It's 4
Do
for
they know
1.
Snower in heaven? Because no one's looking like
Wait a
they
minute,
know
yeah, I
about
didn't
Snower
even
in heaven.
notice. Wait, Grapes is
going to
clearing.
check it. Okay, Snower's probably going to win
Grapes
this fight.
dies!
Okay. There's
Professor
a spawner,
Carr
though.
messes up the jump!
Yeah, no. There's no way for Snower to win that. But that being said, players back to last means the fight on 2 going decently well for Babbers. Man, they actually lose 2, but the damage was so evenly spread between everyone on Witness Gaming Jr. that very well could have gone either way as far as picks are concerned. So it will be Witness Gaming Jr. securing that second point, denying 3 spawns, so mid definitely on the horizons. And they have 20 ad as well. I have no idea whether this is... Yeah, this is supposed to be like 40 ad. They killed the other team's med with an Uber.
Yeah. Witness Gaming Jr. coming in, though, they're going to be able to secure that mid. They don't have to use or anything to take it. Looks like Yellow Babber realize their unfortunate situation and back up, at least for the moment. They're going to be able to hold on to second, though, without too much hassle. And it's on Witness Gaming Jr. to throw in a sack. So check your watches. It should say sack. It's sack o'clock. Professor Carr comes in, fades.
Eyes on Pizza Hat here, who now, finds the sacker. Trying to back up through sewer, almost loses the fight, but is able to get it nonetheless. And now Maggie's behind, and Lobby is a real liability. Mr. Person dying on the front lines. Now it's down 3 for Witness Gaming Jr. The man is getting out through the flank, but with them, Grapes and Silky all the way backed up towards Choke, it's going to be a free midpoint for Yellow Babbers. No Ubers used.
Yeah, a little bit of a flip-flop on this point here. Both teams still maintaining control of their Uber, and this is where both teams, or rather not both teams, this is where Yellow Babber kind of has to throw their way in to try and get some sack. Kitchen Sink jumps through Choke, curves towards Al-Qaeda, goes into sewer, grabs the packs. No one really jumps in off of that fade. Not sure if the other soldier just wasn't able, or if that's just them trying to get into the sewer, but players are bunched up by the Choke. Snower goes in deep now, lands right on top of the beam. It's a double.
Oh my
Big
God.
bomb! Kitchen Sink and Snower with the nuclear damage by Grapes and Silky. Uber gets popped from Yellow Babbers. They push through the Choke now. Mr. Person getting launched up on the point. Goes down 3 for 2. And the drop. This is huge for Yellow Babbers, as all they need to do is have one good coordinated last push. They're locking out the left spawn. It seems like a lot of good damage, but they're peeling back. They're a little too slow and can't get in.
Spawners are here, so just build the Uber and play the Uber. It's not as much ad as it maybe could have been, because you're expecting closer to like 35-40% if you're using and the other med is dying, but 20 still enough, and actually they are building much better than Silky, so maybe it will be 40 when all is said and done. Guns going up. We have, I heard a heavy, but I think heavy switched off to go NG or something, so we are looking at a pretty standard last hold. It's just a matter of where Yellow Babbers choose to take it. They're posturing to take it maybe 1, which would be a little out of the ordinary here. A door like 4 into the sentry gun would definitely be preferable. The man is peeking 5, but no demo kill this time. Uber gets popped
Almost
through
the
3, the
sniper,
man
it's
dies.
beautiful.
Gun
They
goes
die.
down, demo dies. Oh, this is looking really good for Babbers.
It's Jover. It's Jover. Witness Gaming Jr. just doesn't have the bodies to defend the point, and it looks like Yellow Babbers are going to take home the win. Your Newbie Cup 10 champions, first place, as they beat Witness Gaming Jr. in a nail-biter 4-3 Bagel game in a sweep of a 5-1 process. Yellow Babbers rolling in asking for their first place medal already, I'm sure, as this was a very well played game by them and Witness Gaming Jr., not to discredit, but goodness me if this wasn't a fantastic showing by Yellow Babber.
Yeah, they really had to fight for it on Bagel, and I mean, they did earn the win there, and here on Process almost felt like a victory lap for them. You know, after Hardy having won on the other team's map pick, of which the other team had 2, yeah, just able to have a pretty comfortable Process. They did drop a round, which it's not a 5-0. It was definitely back and forth, but still, definitely a confident win from Yellow Babbers.
So apparently I casters cursed the round drop because I was talking about how they have yet to drop a round in this game, and as soon as I finished talking about that, there was the round dropped by Yellow Babber, but you know, it made for good content. But we do have the logs here. It's going to be a 20-minute game, so not the greatest logs to look at, but definitely still show a good part of the story to stay in the loop on. Right at the top of the logs is going to be the man going 29-3-12 with a 333 DPM game, dropping a nice stat line there. Only 183 DTM, surprisingly enough. Playing a lot of cleanup crew, taking a lot of fights, but unfortunately just not the rest of his team not really able to convert as many kills as necessary. The kill diff almost being 80 to 63. Yellow Babbers being 80, of course.
Yeah, what else sticks out to me here? The fact that both of Yellow Babbers' soldiers are going positive is certainly noteworthy, because it's not really a class that you tend to go damage or KD positive on. And generally speaking, I mean, Babbers just have more kills, more damage, a lot more Ubers as well. Good lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I also just want to point out Silky here with 3 drops compared to Yellow Babber with just 1. The beam for Yellow Babber is just playing so much more passively, and their players are also just really turning around a lot more and taking down the players that are coming their way. I mean, it's just their scouts were pretty much anti-aircraft cannons on the side of Yellow Babber, and you know, Witness Gaming scouts, they did their part. They tried to take down those soldiers, but when you have that double bomb like we saw with Snower and Kitchen Sink, there's only so much you can do. You can really only shoot one person at a time. You can only kill one person at a time right there, and that's just going to be kind of an inevitable drop.
Yeah, that was, man, crazy, like double soldier sacks and whatnot, getting not only the drop, but a scout kill as well, and just crazy stuff. Yeah, well played to Yellow Babbers. Definitely showed they learned a lot. I mean, there was some very well thought out plays. It was not just a matter of showing up with better DM, although it did seem like in a lot of fights they did have pretty strong DM. But yeah, the time they put in, we did see returned in, yeah, just game sense and a better understanding overall than Witness Gaming Jr.
Absolutely, and it feels weird saying that because they have the one and only Witness as their coach. You know, they have a lot of resources at their disposal. It looks like, you know, Yellow Babber is going to be able to outperform them and outplay them in a lot of fashions. So big ups to their coach, honestly. I don't think their coach is listed on the spreadsheet we have. Not sure who the coach for Yellow Babbers is, but did a fantastic job getting them to this point, getting them the first place Dubski for this here Newbie Cup, the 10th one, double digits one. I mean, it's just beautiful.
True, yeah. I don't know if there's anything else. So we're going to do another quick little ad read because LAN's coming up. I will be there. Eki will be there. Hopefully you will be there. And even if you're not, you can still donate. So yeah, International LAN, first one since Rewind 2, way back when. Exclamation point PFD 2025. If you'd be interested in donating either actual money or TF2 items, that would be definitely much appreciated. It's a big event coming up and one I'm very excited for.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we have merch as well related to the LAN. If you want to give a little bit of money to the LAN and the operating costs and all that jazz, wherever that money will go, you can also get some merchandise. We have some beautiful merch. Witness Gaming AU merch line dropped recently with a very awesome design. I know I said this earlier, but it's a very great design. Unfortunately, I can't read the design out loud on stream, but it is a fantastic design. Features 2 lovely dogs, and it's a fantastic shirt. You can get info for the merch by doing exclamation point PFD merch in chat, and of course liquid.tf is a sponsor of the TF2CC Cup. Liquid TF, exclamation point Liquid TF in chat to get a link to the Discord where you can buy unusuals for cheap, up to 80% off on some items. And I believe they are also giving medals to participants for this cup. So big ups to Liquid TF.
True. Besides that, any shout outs do you have?
Well, of course, always got to shout out my grandma downstairs working on some spreadsheets right now. Got the stream open on the other monitor and watching always. And shout outs to my bestest pals watching the stream as well. And shout out my mom because it's Mother's Day.
True. Shout out to all the moms here on Mother's Day. Yeah, for me, shout out to Snower and honestly all the Babbers. You guys really showed up. Cool to see. And definitely shout out to TF2CC. Events like this are just really cool to have. It's always nice to have a very easy entry to competitive TF2 just to get the feet wet without having to commit to a season, find teams, all that. So definitely cool. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Very exciting series here, especially that first map on Bagel. Congratulations again to the Yellow Babbers, and hope you guys all enjoyed.